Right, we're camping tonight in northeastern Northumberland. This is the site of an old shepherd's cottage. I'll not give a location as I don't on my kind of home camps, but this place was taken over by the MOD around 1940, and the shepherd owners moved out. But when the MOD left in the war, they didn't want to move back in, so it became abandoned since then. But down here, amongst the rocks, some nice little cozy little camp areas. We're on the back of Storm Amy at the moment, so it'll be good to get out the wind. So here it's an amazing little labyrinth of stones and old dwellings. You can see the evidence where there's been walls over there. We think they would have built the shelter. There's even a little set of steps here going up to my terrace. Old sheep, but just found some fox scat over there. There's a coyote. Got with me some fantastic military spec kit to help keep me warm when we're outside on this kind of cold autumnal night. Firstly, this is the FJERN Feldbuchen. I'll put a link to the video on this before, but what I wanted to show you is this military spec sleeping bag. So the shelter of choice tonight is the FJERN STORMGROTTA. This is a budget one-man tent. That's okay. Billed as 4-season, but pretty lightweight construction. But I've managed to get kind of in this sheltered part tonight. So happily, it's a pitch from the ground up, just with 3 poles. And if you'd like to know more about the specs and details of this, I've done a full first pitch stats video on my channel. It'll be the video before this one. Have a look. And I've also done some modifications, but I explain more about that on the other video and why I did them. But hopefully there'll be room for me and the dog. So it works really nicely as a pitch up from the ground. In the other video as well, I was pitching it in strong winds, but we're going to be sheltered here tonight, but you can imagine you can build it up nice and easy. I've got some misgivings about this tent, but it's got a lot of benefits, and at the end of this video I'll show you some of the pros and cons. Now, one of the modifications I have done is to put this little carabiner on instead of just the tab system. Much easier, faster and more secure. But I'm not going to talk too much about the tent tonight. I just want to enjoy the camp with the boys, who are getting set up in a little bit of Hilleberg land down there. We've got the Namach 2 and the Sand Acto. Very nice. But this tent costs 10% of what a Hilleberg Namach will, but it's got its limitations in comparison to the Namach. Got honey keeping guard there as per normal. So with only a couple of guys out, it's pretty solid there. You know, that's taken a lot of force there, but its tension and stability concerns me as also being part of its weakness. I can see this stitching here is under a lot of stress. I'm going to seam seal all these points along here to try and toughen them up a little bit, but they concern me in terms of true storm worthiness. If you look at the Nortent Varde and the FJERN series, they've got heavy duty webbing along here that spreads the load, and there are a lot more attachment points, so you know, a much more kind of like 4-season robustness. I don't want to speak ill of this tent, you know. I've only had it in like 20 8-mile-an-hour winds, I think it was so far, and it was fine. But you know, and it'll be fine in these conditions. But I've just got misgivings about these stress points here. I love this. Watch this. Woohoo! The peg out points attached to the zip. Endless seconds of entertainment going backwards and forwards with that. The door just comes up with it. Love it. This is the dog Feldduken. I've got the outer for this, but for tonight she'll just need her inner bag, the Jervenheit. If you care about your dog, why not have superb military spec kit for your dog as well. This is the bit of kit I wanted to show you. This is the Halite Overbag Pro. Now, to all intents and purposes, it looks like a synthetic sleeping bag, albeit a high quality one. But its intended purpose is, yes, you can use it as a synthetic sleeping bag, but it goes much further than that. I've then got a flexible system that will be rated for around 0 to -5. And of course, every time I change the inner bag, so I'm thinking of my Nortent -5 bag, which is absolutely superb, that'll take me down to kind of like -20. Okay, there's my setup on the balcony. Lovely spot. Go down and see the boys. Down the steps from the atrium. Hello, hello. Okay, Andy here is in the lovely Namach 2, and Paul is just trying out his Zenbivy system.
Past couple of seasons, unless it's really deep winter, I've been using a quilt system. I've now got half a dozen quilts, and I keep going back to the Zenbivy, which is just the best night's sleep I've ever had.
Wow.
On top of the Nemo mat, 4-season mat, use it all seasons, and it's great. Yeah, Zenbivy's a win-win.
And which model is this one then, do you remember?
It's the lightweight -6 rated, 850 fill, whatever.
It is a story.
But yeah, it's a 3/4 length sheet, and it's the lightweight version. I don't think there's any need for a full length sheet.
Okay.
Because you can wrap your legs within it, or you're wearing something on your legs anyway.
Nice.
It is very comfy.
I think the way to go when getting a bit older, not that I'm saying that they're older, is a nice spacious bag. So look at Paul's setup here. I think this is the high-end Rab, isn't it? Looks like the Thermarest Neo Air NXT in there, in the Sand Acto. What a colour. This is the German Feldduken original. Mylar coated inside. Beautiful colour. I mean, look at that. How that blends in against that rock. Absolutely incredible. So this is going to be my little dinner and cook spot here. Look at that against that rock.
That's brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah.
Any different?
Oh, wow. How uncomfortable is that? Not too bad. Not too shabby. The wonderment of the door opening.
Is that like water in?
Yeah, but it folds out so the water would be on the outside.
Tell you what I don't like that.
What's that?
Is that? It's on there.
Yeah, there is that. So Paul's pointed out the overhang there is kind of inside. So
anything that water on there is straight onto that line there.
But it's like a lot of tents, you know, when you open the door, you give it a little bit of a jiggle, don't you? The outer door. But if it's pissing it down, you're right, vertically onto that. It's good to get these guys up here because they all kind of like spot stuff that I haven't been able to. You can't spot them because they blend in perfectly.
I like. Fair few have started doing this, haven't they?
It's great. Really good.
Little, your Nemo's got that as well.
Yeah, yeah.
You just
little
tidy.
storage garage. Just
Little tidy.
You just end up lobbing stuff in it. Okay, boys, what do you think about the tent?
I think it's bargain of the century.
Yeah, good for the money, nicely designed.
As an entry-level winter tent in sheltered areas, it's very, very good. Some really good thought-out ideas.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking as well. So buy kind of like with confidence, but use with caution. So nicely designed, good value for money. But if you, for me now, a mountaintop winter camper, I personally will be using something kind of like more robust and proven.
What's the spec of the poles?
They are T7000, just FJERN branded 8.5mm. So, but they're that kind of like, if you look at just that kind of press fit thing,
Yeah.
instead of like,
The
well,
old
they,
type.
yeah, what do they do? Kind of like glue them, don't they? So they're like a really close fit that are glued inside the collar there, and this is just kind of like hammered,
Stamped retainer.
yeah, to retain it. So, you know, that might be all right, but kind of like not as good. But, you know, it looks really sweet here in this kind of like moorland mountain kind of surrounding.
Roomy
It's
as well.
pretty thing.
Good porch. Good footprint, and you kind of get the feel for a solo. But it's bigger.
That's not the footprint. Unfortunately, I've got it flipped over because the footprint is designed to go the other way. So, like a lot of Chinese tents, which, sorry to say it, let's face it, it is. It's made in China from a Chinese factory, and I've got nothing against that at all. But they're really keen on not having the footprint covering the vestibule, which is annoying. So I've flipped it over, so we've got that cover. So it's the wrong way up now because the waterproof coating is on the bottom side, which you shouldn't have, but I'm willing to sacrifice the waterproof coating to have protection in the porch. Trying out a new pot tonight. This is the Fire Maple Raymond pot, 800 millilitres, and it's got the 3 or 4 kind of system on, so you can put it on different types of burners. Really light, nice thing. Purchased it myself. Getting a bit scratched from my stove, so I'm going to try it with the trusted. God, what's it called? I'm going to try it with the trusted Soto Fusion Trek. So in my last video, you heard me talking about the FJERN Arctic down jacket. This is it, lovely bit of kit. So I'm clad entirely in FJERN gear today. Good value. I'll put a link below to everything I'm wearing, but basically these are the Hagner soft shell. The little green windstopper jacket I've had on is the Octa, and then underneath is the really warm merino and 50% polyester Forster. I Forster to wear it. Hoodie. So really nice kit. Now it's time for
Knife of the Camp.
And this time it's a wee Opinel. It's the number 7. Razor sharp, and of course it's got that simple locking thing, lovely and light, fits in your pan, just the job. So I'm liking the Raymond pot so far. Super fast before I made my brew. So this is a food grade silicone bag. I made some prawn curry, prawn, pepper and chili curry with coconut earlier on. So my fingers are still stained from the turmeric. So that's for tea. I mean, that's been on seconds and that's kind of simmering away there already. Absolute grease lightning. Kind of sandy. Tremendous that. Sat here all warm in my Jervin bag. Can I Camden Hell some homemade prawn curry. Happy days. Lovely that. Look at that. Some big fatties. We're just saying we're like the 3 trolls in The Hobbit, but we've been out in the day. There's Honey and her little Jervin bag there as well, all cosy. Okay, it's time to get ready for bed. There's the boys down in Hilleberg land, down there. And here's the FJERN, looking pretty inviting. Now it's only about 11 degrees now, but it feels quite cold. Already got honey in here. First thing to note, getting in here, and the FJERN, having just been nosying Andy's Namach, there's a little bit on the cosy side with me and the dog, but you know, it'll be fine. Okay, that's us in the tent. We've had a great night with the boys, kind of talking about camping gear mostly. Sat outside. I was wrapped up in the Jervin Felducken, which is round Honey now, with her own bag, and getting ready in here, getting ready for go to bed. Was a bit cosy, you know. I'm at the limit sort of space-wise with this big sleeping bag. My clothes are down there. My bits and bobs are up here. Obviously, I'm here. So there was enough space to get ready. But for me and the dog, even though I've just got a mummy-shaped mat, we're kind of at the limit, really. But that's fine. So I'm here under the Halite over bag. I'm doing a separate video on this, of course, and we'll kind of see what happens. Catfish. Go.
I know every night is different in terms of its conditions, but we had a good night in the tent here. The dew point is 13 degrees and the temperature's 15, so we've still got that difference, so no condensation in here. You there, honey? Honey? Now, one or two have talked about this door and the awkwardness of it. Now, I have to admit, when I'm just got sat up here, that is a little bit difficult to access my gear because you're going to kind of go round the corner. That's me not wanting to twist round and sit on the dog. So I could cook in this part here with the door shut if it was bad weather. Be a little bit awkward, but I'm 6'1" and a bit stiff. But I could manage it with some difficulty. Perhaps be better if this door came back further, like the oval here was bigger, but I could manage it. You know, no tent's perfect, is it? Stay there, honey. Good morning. Right, stay there. So the light to a mat's been excellent, actually. I think using this overbag has increased my comfort significantly and helped to eliminate cold spots underneath my hip. And if you're interested, the lamp I've been using last night is the Phoenix HL18, highly recommended, and of course the disco lantern. Yeah, so I've just done a recent review of this, so have a look at this because really, really nice, compact, lightweight all-rounder. I've just put the lock switch on there, but having used it, you know, for a few hours last night, it's on 3 bars still. Really, really good. So you can see where we are, tucked behind the rocks down here. So after one night, what are our thoughts about the FJERN Stormgrottta? Well, the outstanding thing is, you probably would have made your own mind up, but it represents great value for money. There's some caveats, but there's loads of advantages. It's reasonably wind stable. The ventilation system's pretty good. There's adequate space for one person. The caveats are that for a tall person and his best pal, it's a little bit cramped for winter. I'm going to use something a bit bigger, and as I've mentioned before, I'm concerned about these attachment points here, particularly that one where there's a lot of stress on the stitching. But you can make your own mind up. There's loads of reviews out there now. Other choices, well, the Nortent FJERN 1 would be a stronger, more versatile system, and then you've got the Vardé one, of course, but we're looking at nearly twice the weight and triple the price. But as an investment for a winter system, you could, or an all-round system, you could choose this for lightness in the warmer months, and then something like the Vardé one for your storm camping, if that's your gig. Great, so I'm going to get some breakfast, and hopefully the midges don't get too close. Yeah, he's not admitting it, but it was definitely Andy's Nemo pad that was doing the creaking. So there were like a little band down there. There was Paul with his crinkly thermarest, and Andy with his bass drum. So they had like percussion and drums. So what this Raymond pot's got is little marks that correspond to your stove. So there's the 3, there's the 4. So it goes on real easy, and the diameter, the base here, almost fits exactly the Soto Fusion Trek. I think I'll do a little bit of a separate test, but the boil times, not that that's important, I know, but the gas efficiency potentially is really good. Harman Hoke uses one of these. His never seems to be covered in old coffee grounds. He's a pro. But nice bit of kit though. It's the MSR ultralight coffee filter, this. Right.
Right, we're just getting packed up to go. I'm going to leave you there. So anybody inspired that's on a budget that wants to get into camping, looking for a shelter, you could go for this one, but leave no trace. And even more importantly, leave less trace. If you see any litter on any camping spots, pick it up. That's what I've done last night. We found some tissue here. I've picked it up. And if you see anybody making a mess, fly camping, antisocial camping, challenge them. But enjoy yourself, knock yourself out with this tent. If you want an all-rounder, think about something a bit more robust, but you know, ticks a lot of boxes. Thanks for watching.